Hey, welcome to 23 Degrees Sideways, Coyote in the Highlands. Let's get centered on my little brick wall here. Yeah, that's fun. We're going to talk today about caffeine and plants and medicinals. Now, you may not agree with this, and a lot of people don't agree with this, but for me, the primary, potentially the only real use of plants is as medicinals. Maybe seasonings. Either way, plants as medicinal is a very important purpose, even if you believe that eating rice is healthier than eating cow or whatever it is that you're doing. So there was a conversation today about someone talking about giving up caffeine. They've given up nicotine, and now it's time to think about giving up caffeine, and kind of like, oh, but not 100%, but oh, maybe this, maybe that. And I brought up the points that caffeine is a hard addiction. It's a softer looking addiction, but it is a harder physiological addiction than a lot of other addictions. It's right up there with the nicotine level. It's not quite as bad as the sugar heroin level. Right up there with cheese. There's a lot of addictive food substances. Caffeine is right up there. Really addictive. And this person's like, well, I don't need much of it, I would skip it, I don't like it that much anyway, it's just that, I don't want to deal with the headaches. Well, if you're dealing with headaches, you have a lot of caffeine because you have an addiction response and a withdrawal response. Okay, caffeine has an effect on everything in your hormonal systems. Okay, it absolutely has an effect on cortisol and insulin responses. We know this, right? It does affect your sleep. Even if you have just a little bit of caffeine at 6 a.m., it still affects your sleep. And people will argue it and say it doesn't matter and say it's not that bad or say it's good for them or whatever. It's a brain hacking chemical, whatever. It's a drug. Don't abuse it. And using it on a regular basis is by definition abuse. Okay, when I say drug in this context, I mean that while it's an addictive psychotropic kind of drug, it is actually a medicinal drug. You get an upper respiratory infection and you need some black coffee for a couple of days, a couple cups of black coffee as a treatment to work you through it, to help you with it. That's fine, that's cool, medicinal, that's fine. If that's cool with you, that's cool. But coffee as a daily thing, caffeine as a daily thing is no longer medicinal. It becomes part of your diet. It becomes a part of what your body has to adapt to in the environment to function as a body. It doesn't make your body function more like a healthy body. It replaces behaviors and functions that you are having a problem with or sense a problem with or have other toxic issues or other sickness issues or other nutritional deficiencies. It doesn't make you more of a perfectly functioning human. It replaces things that are, or accents things, or helps to mitigate things that are preventing you from functioning as an optimal human. 30 days, no caffeine, that is the challenge. 30 days with no caffeine. And, if you're over the age of 50 and you've been sucking that shit down since the age of 6, maybe try 60 days. 30 days should do it. Everything about your hormonal regulation, everything about your mood swings, you will have fewer mood swings. Everything about your mental clarity will go through the roof. Okay? Because one of the things about caffeine as a smart drug, is that it never actually gets you to the point of a fully functioning, healthy, no inputs required human brain. It just duplicates stuff. That's about it. That's I don't know what else to say. Caffeine does that. Everything in your hormone system is going to be affected by this. And hormones drive your body. It's one of those things that's always interesting. When you talk to people about calories, for example, calories in, calories out, I use the argument of well, you can eat, 20,000 calories of charcoal every day and you're never going to get fat. And people are like, oh, charcoal, what the fuck? Charcoal doesn't matter. Like, that's not food. Like, well, yeah, but how do you measure a calorie? You take foodstuffs and you burn it in a test tube and you measure the heat, and that's how you determine calories. You do the same thing with charcoal. No calorie measurement has anything to do with what goes on in your body. It's a test tube experiment. So, what drives what happens when you ingest food, whether calories get burned, used, pooped out, whatever, is your hormones, your hormonal system that pretty much drives the body in this context. And everything in your hormonal system is affected by caffeine. I mean, nicotine, sugar, it all does that too, but caffeine is one of those. It's a hard addiction that masquerades as a soft addiction or a good for you addiction, and it's not. It's just plain not. Give it a shot. 30 days, no caffeine. You will sleep better, you will have more energy, your mind will be clearer, and you will have fewer mood swings. I have a couple people in mind in my life who I would love to see try this, but they never, ever will. Because the ritual of the addiction is too important. And that's really funny. You can do the same ritual with hot water and a little bit of salt. If the ritual is what matters, then peppermint tea, but people, right? Crush your own peppermint leaves. Anyway, that's all I got. Main points are that medicinals, plants are mostly medicinals, and medicinals are for medicinal purposes, not every day. If you need turmeric every day, if you need garlic essence every day, if you need lavender oil every day, if you need caffeine every day, something's wrong that you're not dealing with, because medicinals are supposed to be temporary. Remember, anything that prevents you from living your superhuman potential is robbing you. So, 30 days, no caffeine. Tell me how it goes. Stay sideways.